a big problem with like this country grocery wise as well is just like nobody knows how to or has any interest in cooking anymore. I'm sorry, your house should have at any point in time a massive volume of like staple foods, like dried pasta, canned beans, rice and stuff. If you have that and some spices, you can always make a big delicious meal that you can prepare for multiple days. I don't think there's anything wrong with like stopping by the market to get some like things to cook that day, but it is kind of weird to me that people don't have that. Like people, I think a lot of it is because you only eat frozen food, you know? You'll be like, dude, I'm spending $80 a day on groceries or whatever, and the $80 a day is all going to like frozen pre-made meals that you're just, you know, heating up. It's like, no shit, right? What's wrong with frozen food? It's crazy expensive, and you can usually make the stuff that's frozen yourself, tastier and much cheaper and more cost-effective, and you're not keeping it in the freezer where you have limited space. You can keep it in a pantry where you have presumably a lot more space. I mean, if you can keep it in a pantry, you can just stack it in a corner of the room if you want to. Super salty as well. Yeah, it tends to be. Air fried chicken nuggets isn't cooking. No, I know. That's frozen food that I do, but I can make chicken. Like, you know, like get some chicken breasts. You can get like a big like bulk thing of chicken breasts usually at one of those discount grocery stores. You know what I mean? Like Winco, I guess, would be the one here in the Pacific Northwest. And you can get like 12 chicken breasts, and just in 1 hour you can make like an ungodly amount of chicken in like a big pan. Now, unironically, fuck cooking. What do you mean? You're alive, aren't you? It's not difficult to make rice and beans. It's crazy expensive, but those workers doing 60+ hours a day at their grueling job feel like they have zero time for proper cooking. Yeah, but even that is wrong. I'm telling you, even if you have basically no free time, you can get a rice cooker for like no money at all, make a ton of rice, and then just like pour a bunch of like black bean cans into a pot and like heat it up and add some sour cream, some salt, some pepper, some chili powder, garlic powder, whatever, you know, mix that. And then you've got rice beans, add some cheese on top, and you have like the nutrient building block of human life. Seriously, rice, some beans, and then some cheese on top, and this is like a unit of life right here. Like this is like the fundamental building block of existence. It's perfect. It's carbs, it's protein, it's fat, it's everything you need, you know? And it's tasty. Pinto beans are better. Oh, sure, pinto beans, whatever. Oh God, the rice bean discourse again. Mexican food is the definition of mid. Did you think a yellow name would save you from the shadow realm? Unbelievable. You're describing my dinner tonight? It's good. Like, it's good. If you just add the right seasoning to the beans and you cook it long enough that the stock the beans are in kind of like simmers down and gets like thick so it settles nicely and it's tasty, that's tastier than most frozen meals you can make and infinitely cheaper. For about $10, you can make a volume of rice and beans that will last you in terms of like calories and how many meals you can make out of it, like 5 times as long as a frozen meal. People don't have time for that. Yeah, yes, you do. No, I don't accept that bullshit. Yes, you do. A rice cooker works on its own. You don't have time to put the rice and the water in? Like, yes, you do. Do you have time to, like, I don't know, you have 1 minute? And then for the beans, you just put the beans in and then you put it simmer and stir it a little bit. You can be on your phone while you're doing it. I'm on my phone when I do it. You dump the beans in the pot. Oh, what's on Twitter? Like, wait, I know you have the time. Don't bullshit me, okay? And the food will last ages, a while after. Yeah, you are currently watching a Vosh stream, okay? I do not want to hear it. Meal kit subs let me cook a lot of things I wouldn't otherwise, and they're tasty. They are tasty. They're just very expensive. I've had plenty of frozen food. This isn't a moral judgment. I'm just saying that it's better to generally try to, like, at least make some bulk, like, stock foods that you can, you know, defer to. I mean, honestly, you know what else is a really good step up? Campbell's chunky soup. Like, any of the, like, soup cans, they're like $2, and they have, like, 400 calories of soup. If you put some of that over rice, that's actually often really good, because the soup will have fat and protein, and the rice adds the calories. Really good, really filling. Or a canned chili. Just canned chili, you know? You know, you can make your own chili. It's packed with salt, though. Yeah, I know, but if you don't add a bunch of salt to it after the fact, it's fine. Some canned chili on top of rice, really good. Rice is good. You're not going to die of sodium poisoning from having one thing of canned soup. Guys, come on. Destiny and Lonerbox make these seem defenses whenever someone tries to explain the fact that food deserts exist. How does it feel to get styled on by myself, Destiny, and Lonerbox? You know, the trifecta of condemnations descending upon you. Orbital strike coming in from every direction. Like, food deserts exist and are an issue because, on average, humans don't make good decisions, and also people's access to the ability to make good decisions can influence the likelihood of them making them. We don't operate on the assumption that humans are robots that always make the best choice, but you should still strive to make the best choice. You can simultaneously recognize, for example, that poor socioeconomic outcomes tend to lead people down bad life paths, like, for example, higher rates of, like, drug dependency in some cases, right? Like, debilitating drug dependency. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I can't also say, hey, don't do fentanyl, kids. Like, you can do both of those things. So likewise, if you live in a food desert and you work 60 hours a week, I understand that these are factors that can influence the likelihood of you being able to make the good decisions, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't make the good decisions. The good decision here is make a lot of rice, make a lot of beans, yum, yum, yum. Get some tortillas, make some burritos. Have a good time. Do you prefer basmati rice, white rice, jasmine rice, or brown rice? Sushi rice. I get medium grain rice. Much tastier than long grain, in my opinion. But are, like, rices interchangeable? No, they taste different. Do you wash your rice before cooking? Yeah, of course. How long does rice last before expiring? If you have a good rice cooker that will stay hot and keep the rice heated, it can last like 3 or 4 days after you cook it, though some people will say, you know, if you mean uncooked rice will last basically forever before you cook it. If you cook it and then put it in the fridge, it'll last a pretty long time. I swear chat thinks when you say rice and beans, you mean plain rice and just plain beans. Yeah, it's like it's literally like they've never made food before. It's crazy. It makes me wonder how, like, Latin people watching my streams feel when they see, very obviously, with respect, white people watching and they're like, well, rice is so bland. Are you kidding me? You know, like, it'd be like if you said bread is good and in everyone's mind they thought of, like, I don't know, literally just a meal that is like a tuft of sourdough pulled from the center of a loaf sitting on a plate. It's like, what? That's weird. You just eat that? Like, no understanding of how these foods get incorporated or used. As a Latin person, yeah, these people need to use spices. Yeah, like, you know, or hot sauce. Hot sauce is good for you. Hell yeah. Warms your heart up. Gets you going. Wakes your ass up. Get some damn hot sauce. Get some chili powder. Get some salt and if you don't have salt and pepper in your kitchen and you're eating frozen food, you're insane. You're not even a person. Like, I know this describes at least one of you. Like, you live off frozen food and you don't even have salt and pepper. I know this describes at least one of you. You are insane. Absolutely insane. You're not even living life right now. Like, you're a shadow person sleepwalking through life. God almighty. Yeah. Onion and garlic powder is good. Get some rosemary, you know, even if it's shitty, like pre-cut rosemary that's pretty dry, it still adds a nice aromatic, a nice flavor to some meals, you know. But Vosh, the sodium and salt, yeah. Oregano, I actually don't like oregano that much, but I still have some, yeah. The rare times that it's useful. Soup is also a really good option for cheap bulk food. Yeah, you can get some, like, chicken stock and make basically anything you want. Does Vosh hate depressed people? Vosh hates depression and wants you all to do better. Spice tier list. You know what's really good and goes on a lot of stuff? That, like, generic Cajun seasoning that you can get at grocery marts. You can usually get it in, like, a really big thing. That shit goes hard. The one thing I recommend is, if you're buying spices, don't ever buy a mix of spices unless it's something like that where it's like kind of a distinct thing of flavors. Like, don't buy herb mix that's like rosemary and oregano or whatever. Or don't buy garlic salt. Why would you do that? You have salt. You have garlic powder. What does garlic salt do except confuse the issue? Like, what if you want one but not the other? Why? Like, why? Same with, like, onion salt, which is less common but still a thing. Lemon pepper seasoning. Yeah, don't lemon pepper just get pepper, and there's lemon powder, citric acid, lemon juice, whatever else. Yeah. Don't you swear by truffle salt? Yes, I do. But I think that truffle salt is a very distinct seasoning. Like, I never am just making a thing and I think, oh, I want some salt. Let me add truffle salt or whatever. Like, truffle salt is very distinct, whereas garlic salt just tends to be used as like, yeah, it's the garlic salt. It's garlic powder and salt. You know, like, I don't know. Truffle salt has a very, very distinct flavor profile that goes with some stuff, like, you know, distinctly. Yeah. Yeah, also, I'm not going to buy truffles and grind them up and add them to my food, so that's the way I'm accessing that flavor. Why not just buy dried truffles and do that? You can if you want. The real reason is that the real flavor that you get from truffles isn't from like grinding them up or whatever. It's from the oil that you get in truffles. And truffle salt has that oil very finely dispersed. So if you want to like finely disperse that oil, you need it to be contained in some kind of particulate anyway. So if you're not using it with salt, you can like what? Mix truffle oil with sand? You know, like you're mixing it with something anyway. So if you're going to get that flavor in that way, it might as well be salt, the most ubiquitous seasoning. I thought I had fucking mustache here in my mouth. Yes, truffle oil and butter are very good. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did actual politics? As flattering as it is to have 6,000 people here with me while I ramble about this stuff, there are other topics to talk about. Let me pee super quick, and then we'll get right to it. Learn to cook. I promise you can make stuff that's better than any prepackaged food. For sure, but to be clear, I'm not even advocating people like learn to cook as like a real skill that they work to develop. I just mean like the absolute most basic ability to construct your own meal. You'll save so much money, dude. You'll save so much money. Holy shit. And it'll be tastier. It's not like all that frozen food is good, you know? This jacket. I got it from Etsy, Skynet. You'll probably be able to find it if you look it up.